Hello there, my name is Adam, and on today's lecture, we're going to build a game environment. So we're going to make the foliage with its materials and stuff. We're going to make a rock material. We're going to build a ground and dirt style. We're going to make some water, some ice, and some snow. And mainly, this is to like show you how to, change the environment from like, let's say a summer stage to like a winter stage. Right now I won't touch on autumn, because if you're planning to add seasons to your RPG, like in Stardew Valley or other games where they add seasons if it's like a farming game, that one takes a bit longer since you have to literally individually pick every single leaf, and it takes a lot of tiles to make that. So for now, I'm going to show you how to make like a summer thing with leaves and stuff, and then a winter stage with ice. I'll separate it in two, winter and summer. So yeah, okay, let's get started. So the first thing is we click on create sprite. We start off with this, but we have to resize this. So let's click here. I already did the calculations, so it's let's do that. Height is 96, and our width is 256. Resize. There we go. And we add a grid, so let's go to here and activate grid. The reason why we need the grid is because we're trying to match, what we did in the past with our environment, but we're trying to do it in like a natural way. So I'm gonna do like a natural transition from like summer to winter or winter to summer. So the first thing, let's zoom in. Let's start marking out the areas. I guess we can use black. We can move around using this. And yeah, let's start marking out. So I'm going to add a river to this. So the first thing you have to do when making an environment, that is, you have to mark out what you're going to add. So in my case, I'm going to add a river somewhere around here. So we're going to do something like this to where it's separated by tiles. And the river will end somewhere around here. There we go. We have a good river shape. It doesn't matter if these are all like unique. It's just to mark it out. So I'm gonna add a river there. The river is gonna have a little bit of a path by it, so I'm gonna make a path that goes from here with rocks. So I'm gonna do lots of little rock materials things here. But for now, I'm just gonna mark it out. So the path is gonna go like this. When making an environment, at least try to make it look a little natural, so that way you don't have to care about it as much. And there, it ends there. And try to keep like the rocks in somewhat these areas. We have our path marked out. We're gonna add a few bushes here, so one I plan on adding is like around here. One half of the bush. I'll add a little edge of a bush here. It's gonna be a small bush though. There we go. Most of this will be dirt, but some of it will be also grass, so let's like mark out the grass. So we're going to add like a really tall grass there. Half of it will be ice, so there. Set a little bit here to signify that little pieces of ice have been getting off. There. And this part will be ice. And we're going to add like a snowy bush here. We're going to add snow on top of it. This will be water. Later on we're going to add like little flowers and grass and stuff and foliage. A little bit of dirt, since most of the like in the winter side we're going to make like a lot of dirt. We're going to make it like semi-cool. Um Over here on like the summer side, we're gonna add some dirt here, so we're going to separate it with snow on the ground here. It seems we've mapped out most of it, and we have like a transition here. We're gonna make this look real nice, so for now we were just mapping it. Alright, now that we've mapped it out, we can start out painting it. So let's get started with that. Alright, first thing I'm going to do, go like this and erase some stuff, because some of this just doesn't look right. We're gonna make rocks individually. We're making a rock path, so just go crazy. They don't have to be perfect shapes. They can be any shape, to be honest. Just try to make little rocks that go like this into a path. You might have seen a lot of these in like other RPGs, so it's like little rock paths. And if you don't want to like constantly make these, you can always use the select tool and select the rocks you've already made and repeat them. A lot of RPGs do this, but the good RPGs make unique rocks every single time so that they match. It makes it look more natural, you know? And what we can do is like make an intersection here so we know that this continues down here. And the shape that you pick, it can be unique on every single one. It doesn't have to be the same shape, to be honest. Right now what I'm doing is making more of a pixel art environment more than anything. And I'm making it in the RPG style mostly. Most of the stuff you learn on this can also be applied to normal art. So yeah, if you're making normal art, most of the environmental stuff can also be applied to like other programs that just, like Photoshop or Procreate or any other program for that matter. You can also apply this to real life, like for example, if you're just drawing something or painting something, you can apply this environment to that. And well, planning it out always works, generally. When applying most of the planning I do for my environments, I try to base it off of pictures or stuff I've seen in other games or in other RPGs, so that I get the most accurate version of it. There we go. We have a little rock path. Later on, if you want, you can change the color of them. But for now, that's my little rock path that I'm going to add. Okay, let's erase this and make this actual grass. Now, I'm not going to be following the same style I've been doing where I like outline stuff. I'm actually going to color the stroke a different color. But for now, I'm using black to like outline stuff. Let's start making the ground texture here. So let's see, what's a good color for grass tones? And let me mark it out with this. It's a bit too bright. Maybe a little darker. There, much better. We have to add like a little grass edge to this. Another thing you can do is plan out with color, using the lines like this. But I generally just start with either black or color. And at this point, we cut it off with snow. So we do it like this. There we go. Now we fill that in. And let me erase that part there. There we go. And over here, we do the same. Now we have a little bit of grass. Let's add the white to signify the snow. Remember that if you plan to later on paint it in or fill it in, try to not leave any gaps, otherwise it just fills in the rest of the blank areas. When using the bucket tool in Piskel. So keep that in mind. And we fill this middle part with brown. Make these little pieces gray. Right now what I'm doing is filling in all the flats of the colors, and later on we're going to apply what I did in the previous lesson where it was about shading. So yeah, we're going to add shading to every single object on here to add as much detail as we can. But for now we're just painting in the flats and mapping out most of the stuff so that it looks good. Let's pick the green and make it slightly darker to signify that these are bushes. And what we can do is to signify that this is a snow bush, we can add like a little texture to it like this. Now it has snow on it. So we have a rock path, we have the snow, the grass. Let's mark out the water. There we go, and let's mark out the ice with like a lighter blue. There we go. We're still gonna add grass and stuff. Maybe we'll add like a little snowman. Like here, let me mark out the snowman. I'm going to add a little snowman to this. We have to. It's a snow place. Like it's a must. You have to add a snowman. I mean, you don't really have to, but it's recommended. There we go. He's gonna be a double snowman. He's gonna have a carrot and stuff. But there, we marked out a little snowman. Let's start adding some of the foliage and other stuff that this scene needs. So let's zoom in here. Normally when I add little patches of grass and like reeds, what I do is I pick a really dark color for the reeds. And I start like marking them out like this with lines. So these lines are going to be reeds. We've marked out our reeds there. Let's mark them out over here too. Except these will have more gray in them because they're more cold. You have to remember to match your colors to the area that you're painting in. Alright, there we go. So once you have all the reeds marked out, we have to add the little yellow part to it. Okay, that's all for this section. In the next part of the lecture, we're going to continue making more foliage. We're going to add a little bit of detail to the water. We're going to add a dirt edge to the river.